Hi everyone, welcome to our town. We have a new show for you today, and I am your host, Jill Lawrence, and I'm here with Kisten Olson Meroski. Hi Kisten.
Hi Jill.
Thanks for coming in and volunteering to be on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are kind of picking up our town again and looking at, talking to people in the community, the great town of Norfolk. And so Kisten has offered to come on. She is the Director of Student Sponsorship at the Power of Education Foundation. So that's a lot of words. So let's jump right in and talk about that. This is a foundation that supports a school in Haiti, right, in Port-au-Prince. So go ahead.
Right,
so tell us,
Port-au-Prince.
tell us a little bit. Like, tell us your sort of overall info about it.
Sure. So we support a school in Port-au-Prince. Currently, we have 225 students in kindergarten through 8th grade, and we are expanding to 9th grade next year. And for the students, we provide a quality education, health care, and school and food every school day.
Yeah, every school day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wild. So why I was drawn to this when I talked to you, when I met you, is that it's really a small group of individuals, of volunteers that are just giving their time and their energy to make a really big difference for over 200 Haitian kids who otherwise probably wouldn't go to school at all.
That's correct. Yes,
right.
we do. The school serves some of Port-au-Prince's most at-risk students. They come from, our school's located in the Fontamara neighborhood, and the students come from the surrounding neighborhoods. And without our school, most of these students would not go to school. They would not learn how to read and write, and they would not eat as well as they do right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, they wouldn't, because you're providing them with food, you said, for each school day, and that's breakfast and lunch?
Yeah, we provide a breakfast snack. It's pretty much the Haitian equivalent of a bagel with peanut butter.
Okay.
And then we provide a hot lunch.
Okay, that's right, a hot lunch. Okay. So it's, there's so much American media and parenting about nutrition and about protein, and it's interesting to think that, before your foundation can start thinking about educating, you have to think about feeding them. Like you really have to get down to basics.
It's true. Our food program is one of the most important pieces of what we do. When we started, we were feeding the kids lunch at school, a hot lunch, and that's it. But we found that they had a really hard time focusing in the morning because they were starving.
Yeah.
So we started to provide the breakfast, and it's made a big difference.
Yeah, in the school. Well, it's we've jumped right into the particular the specifics of what you're doing, but to just back up for a second, Haiti, from what I understand, is either one of the very most poorest nations in the world, and I think you have said that it's definitely the poorest in the
Western Hemisphere.
The Western Hemisphere. Okay, so
that's right.
And it's on an island shared with the Dominican Republic. And so if people need to check their maps, their atlas. But these are kids that have the option to go to public school, but yet, meaning they're qualified for public school, of course, but there may not be enough schools. Is that what we're?
Yes. So in Haiti, about half the children do not go to school at all. So they never go to elementary school. Yeah. Out of the children that do go to school, 60% of them leave school before 6th grade.
Before 6th grade?
Yes.
So that's 10 years,
Huge.
11 years old. Oh
yeah.
My goodness. And they haven't really learned to write. Maybe they've learned to read a little, but wow. Yeah. And so half of them still, though, as of 2016, are not going to school as of now.
About half the kids do not go to school in Haiti.
And so you guys are providing a safe haven, education, food, medical attention for 200 30.
Yep, 225
225 students, and I'm sure that when you're doing your, all of this great work, you wish that you could. I mean, I'm sure there's that that pang that you're like, oh, I wish we could do for all of them,
For all
right?
of
I mean,
them,
it must be a hard thing to reconcile a little bit because you want to make, you're doing so much to make a difference.
It is. It's hard and it's easy to become overwhelmed when you think about Haiti in general. But really, we focus on this community. We decided early on that we were going to make a big impact in one particular project instead of trying to do something smaller that affects more people. We wanted to make a big impact so we could have a deep, meaningful difference to a community.
Great. Okay, to that one community, and this is a neighborhood within Port-au-Prince.
Yes.
Well, that's such. So you got, obviously it's well thought out. You went with the quality over the quantity of making a very marginal difference to more people.
Yes.
So that's a fascinating. That's a fascinating way to look at it, because I think I like. I mean, I'd love to do a little series of Norfolk citizens giving back. So you're on our pilot. This is our pilot episode, giving back, Norfolk giving back. So now that you mentioned that about that you decided, meaning as the foundation, to make a big impact on that community. So let's back up again and talk about how it all began, and then the people, how did this idea come up?
Sure. So it started in two places. It started in the States and it started in Haiti. In the States are the two people that founded PEF, Trillium Hiblin and Matt Davis. They worked in healthcare in Grand Rapids, and they had worked for other organizations before, and they decided to start their own foundation that would focus on providing education in healthcare to students in Haiti. So they had the background, they had the experience to do this. They had some of the financial backing, and they knew they could get more financing through fundraising. But they needed a project. They needed someone to work with in Haiti. So at the same time, the man who's currently our principal, his name is Jordan, grew up in one of these neighborhoods in Port-au-Prince. And he grew up in a very poor household. His schooling was very sporadic. He lived in an orphanage for a while. He got an education at the orphanage. He had to leave the orphanage. He met a woman that was very influential in his life, and she paid for him to go to school. And that really planted the seed in his mind and in his heart that how important education was to kids, and how he knew that education was really the way out for the kids in his neighborhood. So he went to school, learned how to be an educator, and would run schools, but sooner or later the schools were closed due to lack of funding, et cetera. At one point he started a program on Saturdays for the kids in his neighborhood to keep them safe. There was a lot of gang violence in the neighborhood where he grew up.
Right.
So he and a friend started this program to keep the kids off the streets and away from the gang members.
So a Saturday school or Saturday recreation program.
Exactly. Yep.
Just try to combat the gang stuff, the gang violence. Wow.
So the kids would come in and they'd do, it was fun. They'd do fun activities, but they'd also learn, and it would keep them safe. Yeah. So eventually, he had this dream of starting a school in his neighborhood, and he did not have the backing to do it. And through chance, he met one of our founders, Matt, when Matt was in Haiti. They met through a friend, and we realized it was a perfect fit. And that's how we started.
That's so cool. I mean, so including Jordan, who is the Haitian from that same area of Port-au-Prince, including Jordan and yourself, we're talking 5 or 6 individuals, right?
Yeah, we have a core group of volunteers. In the States, it's about 5, 6, 7 people. And then in Haiti, we have Jordan, the principal, a couple other administrators, and then the teachers. Yes.
And what, like you said, most kids they're only going up to grade 6. Your school runs through 8th grade.
So when we started with 90 students in grades 1st through 3rd grade. Okay. And we've added grades. This was almost 6 years ago. We've added grades as the kids get older.
Yeah, that's right.
Too. So now our oldest are in 8th grade, and we are adding 9th grade next year
Oh,
for
you
them.
are? Okay, so that's the crest. So that's great. So the kids that are going 8th to 9th, many of them have been at it for
Yeah, they've been with
since
us
they
from
were
the
little.
beginning.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Another thought about about Haiti in general is that I think we think of it as a French-speaking country because of being colonized by France a long time ago. But if you would just talk for a minute or two about a little bit about that Haitian history and the French, but also what language they speak when they come into school, and what language are you teaching them in?
Sure, that's a great question. So it was a French colony, and Haiti was actually the only country where the residents overthrew their colonizers.
That's right. So there was
the Haitians overthrew the French. That's right.
Do you know roughly that was
Are you going to quiz me on
1800s?
Haitian history?
Please tell me the exact year.
Yes. Okay. I don't remember the exact year.
Yeah,
I think it was in the 1700s.
1700s.
Don't
Okay.
hold me to that. Nobody look it up. Yeah. So, and then they did have Haiti's had a really complex and kind of a sad history too.
That sounds it.
Yeah. Right now, the official language of Haiti is French, and all of the official business takes place in French. But the majority of the population speaks Creole. So, for example, all of our students, they don't speak French at home. Their parents don't speak French,
At
so
all.
they don't know.
Or they may know a few words because they have to go to the store.
Right, but they don't. They don't speak the language that the country governs in, which is a huge disadvantage.
Oh my goodness.
They all speak Creole. We do when we started school, we taught everything in French because that is what the national curriculum is in, and that is what the exams are in. However, we're now participating in a program that Save the Children is doing, where we're teaching the first couple of grades in Creole.
Okay.
Which is huge.
Makes sense.
Yes, studies show that children learn best the fundamentals in their primary language, and they certainly will learn French after that. We'll teach them French, but they're learning the fundamentals in Creole.
In Creole.
Yes.
And then they learn their second language.
Yes, then they'll learn French.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that is it's so wild. So, so your teachers that you're hiring have to know both, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And some of them know a little bit of English.
Okay. Cool. So I guess so I understand how it kind of began. I guess I'd like to hear a little bit more about the school in terms of I don't know what the day is like. I know you also have Saturday and or summer programs, and also there's a medical component. So maybe talk about that.
Sure. So I'll start with the medical first of all. So we know when we started the school, we knew that first of all, hungry children can't learn. So that's why nutrition is such an important part of our program.
And the money that the donations, the money, I mean, it has to, you have to decide how much you're going to spend, right, on the food versus versus hiring teachers.
Yep. And it actually costs us about $17 a month to feed a student breakfast and lunch every day.
$17
a month, yes.
Okay.
For the majority of our students, the food that they eat at school is their major source of nutrition, and for some of our students, it is their only source of nutrition.
Wow.
It is the only food they eat.
Wow. So on weekends, they must just be...
There are some students, they come to school on Monday, and we have learned they have not eaten all weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So nutrition is obviously a huge part of what what helps these kids.
Yeah.
A second big piece besides the education is healthcare. We have medical teams that go down to the school about twice a year, and they consist of doctors, residents, and nurses. And they go down, they give all the kids physicals.
Okay.
And they follow up with kids that have chronic illnesses.
Okay.
They administer deworming medication.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
it's
they
like the veterinarian, up here. Wow. Okay.
And they do a lot of parent education too. So when they're there, they'll do several workshops for parents on topics that parents want to know about. So for example,
medical health topics.
Exactly. So for example, they did topics on. They did a presentation on keeping your family safe from cholera. There's a big cholera epidemic right now in Haiti.
Okay.
So that's an example of something.
And that's from water.
Yes.
That's from.
Yep.
Oh, and actually, just to spin on that, this neighborhood where the school serves, there's, I'm assuming running water is.
Most of the students live in houses without running water.
Without running
and
water.
without electricity.
And without electricity. Okay. So it's amazing to think that it's, well, not that just that it's 2016 and this is happening, but also that Haiti is so close to so many wealthy countries. I mean, and you think of the tourists that go to the U.S. Virgin Islands or to Aruba, and you know, it's like, it's hard to get your head around.
It is hard to get your head around.
Because they're living without running water.
Yes, without electricity.
Yeah. And without eating for the whole weekend. $17 a month to feed one student. So at the end of the show, we'll talk a little bit about how you can donate.
Right.
But the doctors are coming in, and are they doing vaccinations as well?
Yes,
and
they do
just and the cholera is the
And we just had a group of doctors down there a couple of weeks ago, and they'll find various illnesses with kids and get them treated, which is great. For example, there was a boy with a broken arm. Apparently he'd broken his arm a week before the medical team went down there. So they discovered it and they set his arm and got it taken care of. But if you think about it, he had a broken arm for a week before he saw a doctor, and if our medical team hadn't been down there, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, he might have just
Healed
it would
in the wrong way.
It would have healed the wrong way. Yeah.
They also identified a student, one of our little ones, who has a blockage in his urinary tract. And so they are looking for a surgeon down there that can either provide the surgery. If they can't find one, then they're going to fly him up to Michigan and have the surgery performed there.
Okay.
So without that surgery, that boy probably would have died sometime during his childhood.
Right.
So those are just two examples from the most recent trip of health issues they found.
Right. Oh my goodness. The earthquake was 2010. So you guys started your school just after, right?
Just after October of 2010.
Just after.
The earthquake was in early 2010.
Yeah. Okay. So I wonder, did that help to bring attention to that, or were you already looking at Haiti?
We were looking at Haiti at that point anyway. Obviously the earthquake, was all over the news and brought a lot of attention to the country and the needs that the country had, especially after the earthquake. But we were looking at Haiti before.
Okay. And before, pre-earthquake versus post, what was the change? I mean, obviously it was already one of the poorest nations in the world. So what did you see? What have you learned about the changes before and after? I mean, are people? I mean, it's been 6 years. Are they still? People are still living without real houses, right?
They are, and I had never been to Haiti before the earthquake, so I can't compare myself. But I know that there are still some people living in, makeshift tents, etc.
Okay.
There are. When I was down there a couple of months ago, and you can still see rubble from the earthquake. There's been a lot of rebuilding, but you can still see rubble.
We'll at the end of the show, we'll put up a couple photos, so that you can of some of the photos that you took when you were there. That would be great to see it, like the visual. So the next thing I wanted to hear is about what you do specifically, because that's the connection we have to this, the Power of Education Foundation, which is known as PEF.
Yes.
And you're the director of student sponsorship.
That's right.
So would you explain that?
Sure. So I got involved in the foundation when I met one of the founders, and I jumped at the chance to get involved. So right now I'm the director of student sponsorship. I do a lot of administrative work. So we get a lot of funding from sponsoring students.
A specific student.
Yes.
Right.
So
families or Americans, or actually it could
a
be
lot of
anywhere,
Europeans
right?
too sponsor. Yeah. So you can. That's how we do a lot of fundraising. You can sponsor a student. There are 2 levels. And I administer all that. So I track students, I track who the sponsors are. I, send communications out to sponsors to keep them updated on what's going on with the school. I answer a lot of questions. When I visit Haiti, I take a lot of pictures of the kids to show their sponsors.
Right. And what does it cost to I'm asking this for myself as well, but for the the lowest sponsorship for a student, because like you said, there's 2 levels of
Yes.
support. But
Yep.
what's the amount to sponsor a student for a year?
Well, it costs us about $600 per student every year for the school. So we have 2 levels. We have $300, which we call an educational sponsorship.
Okay.
And that covers the cost of the education and makes sure that the student has access to health care.
Okay.
And then our full sponsorship at $600 really covers the full cost. So it covers the cost of education, it covers the cost of food, ensures they have access to health care. It covers the cost of their uniform, books, workbooks.
Okay, so like the whole
Yes.
thing. Okay.
Yep.
That's great. All right, good to know. Well, obviously there's the website, is, and it's just actually PEF.
It's Power of Education Foundation.
Oh, Power. Okay,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
the whole thing.
Yeah,
okay,
we spell it all out.
powerofeducationfoundation.org, right? And I know that that'll be up on the bottom of the screen. But it has so much info. It's really nice, to go there and to see pictures. And but what I understand how you got involved in this because you had a couple of some friends, some contacts that, and you kind of all got together and made this a reality. But what about what other things have you done in terms of, I was wondering, like, did you see, like, when you were growing up, did you have did you get to see some of this, like, kind of unselfish volunteers?
Like, why am I a volunteer?
Yeah, like, how did you get to that? That's, I guess, what I'm asking.
Yeah,
So.
that's a great question. I guess when I was growing up, kindness and compassion were very important values to my family.
Yeah.
And we also learned that, we're really lucky. We're lucky because we were born here, and we're lucky because of what we have, and we're healthy. And it's important, and not everybody's that lucky.
Right.
So it's important for everybody in the world to do what they can to, help.
Yeah.
Help out.
Help out.
Exactly.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
So it is interesting to think of it like it is luck, right? I mean, some of it is luck in terms of what you're born into.
Right. You're born into things, and then you work hard to make the most of it. You don't want to waste it.
Right.
But where you're born is nothing to do with you.
Right. Right. Well, I think that's it. So kindness and compassion.
Yes.
And I think that one of the nice things about American education, more recent, maybe, versus meaning the generation that our kids are in now versus when we were in school, is that there is such a focus on community service.
Yes,
and some
I agree.
kids look at it, I'm sure, like checking a box, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to do these hours.
Yeah.
But some kids really grab onto it.
Yes.
So it's I feel like we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I do too.
About giving back.
I do too.
Yeah, but it is astounding that there's 5 or 6 people there's an idea, 5 or 6 people come together, and they make it happen, and they're changing the lives of 225 kids and growing.
That is, yes, it is. When I visit and I see the students and I see how well everybody's doing, it amazes me just what we can do.
Yeah. The name of the school, is it called, what's the specific
The
name?
Power
of
of
the school?
Education Foundation
That's what
School,
I thought.
yeah.
So it's that school.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there must be, do you have to turn away? Does it have a reputation now in the
It does.
neighborhoods of Haiti?
It really
of
does.
Port-au-Prince,
Yes, it really does. So we choose students. Jordan's very connected in the community, so he's involved in getting the students, and so they advertise or they let the word out that it's time to get new students. And the students come to school with a parent or grown up in their life, and they interview or whatever.
Okay, to make sure
interview
you're
is
going to have
probably too strong a word, but yes.
Right, a committed.
Yep.
So, okay, that's interesting. And I guess I also wanted to ask about a little bit more about giving, people who might be interested in student sponsorship. Obviously, we direct them to the website, but is there anything else you want to add there, like other ways to give or any other pieces of it?
Well, the other thing I can say is we're trying to buy our school building right now. So we've been working out of a rented building, and it's really become a centerpiece of the community. So it's our school, but it's also a place where community groups meet.
Oh, it is?
And yes,
Okay.
and
Nights and weekends kind of thing where
Yep.
they come in, and it's a
Yep.
safe place, right?
it is a safe place. It's also there's been a foundation formed around our school, actually, in the neighborhood that supports the families of our students, so the students can really, come to school and succeed in school, et cetera. So they come to the school and they meet at the school. So we want to buy the building. The building needs work. It needs plumbing, it needs better electricity, it needs bigger space, we need furniture. So we're in the middle of a capital campaign right now to buy the building. So there's information on the website too if anyone's interested in donating to that.
That's separate, capital campaign for the building.
Exactly.
The school building.
Yes. And then if there's anybody interested in getting involved, doing something, working for it, absolutely.
Like volunteer.
Yes, visit the website. And there's information there on how to get in touch with us.
Okay, yeah, the website is very comprehensive. So, all right, well, I feel like we've covered most of it. I thought of one question popped in my head, which was girls versus boys, because, the gender.
Absolutely.
Because we talked about language and we talked about the socioeconomic with the poverty. But what is your breakdown of girls versus boys, out of curiosity?
It's about half and half.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is about half and half.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
So girls have, at least here, the girls have as much opportunity as the boys.
At the school, and that's really important to us because education for girls around the world obviously is nowhere near what it is for boys, and for us, we think it's equally as important.
Right. So that was one of your basic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do work to. We've partnered with an organization called Beyond Borders, and they do work with. Parents and people in our community that help stop violence against women and girls.
Okay.
So that's a way we support the girls in our school as well.
Okay, including in the country of Haiti.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And is culturally in Haiti, there's obviously a lot of countries girls are not allowed to go to their laws, but in Haiti, culturally or legally, it's all there's no problem with girls.
No, girls are allowed to go to school. Yeah.
And are they encouraged to do so by their parents?
That's a great question. I think it probably depends on the families.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of girls, I think education is tough. Access to education is tough for everybody, probably more so for girls in Haiti.
A little bit more, okay.
Yeah.
But maybe the boys are more inclined with the gang violence, just because it's, so I'm sure, it is just, like I said, incredible that you guys have set this up and that you're at over 200, and I'm sure I would love, we'll have to do a check-in every couple of years because it'll grow and grow.
It will.
So we'll have you on in 10 years and you'll be telling me that that you have a series of schools throughout. So anyway, so the power of education foundation.org, and please go to the website and check it out, and if you want to sponsor a student, you're the one. And then obviously you're local to Norfolk, you raising your kids here with your family, so
I'm happy to talk to anybody that wants to get involved. I would love it.
Great. Okay, well, that is it. So Kisten Olson Meroski, Norfolk citizen, giving back in a big way, and but I'm really impressed with the fact that you guys really made this commitment and said we're going to make a big impact on a smaller group, and you've made it happen. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jill.
So I'm Jill Lawrence, and this is Our Town. Thank you for watching.